Hello everyone. So welcome back to my channel. So basically this is the AWS Zero to Master series. So as you know, we are focusing on the AWS cloud and services in that like in depth way. So in today's session, we are going to see about the encryption and the snapshot on the AWS level. So if you can remember in the previous two sessions, we learned about the AWS EBS volume and the instant store volume, and we have been demonstrated how we can create and attach that EBS and the instant store. So in today's session, we will discuss more on that encryption perspective along with that snapshot and what other snapshot life cycles available on the AWS. We will discuss more on this today's session. So let us start. So basically that we will discuss about that encryption, then we will start out to look on the snapshot. So basically that encryption means nothing but when we are creating the EBS volume, we can select that encryption whether required or not. So basically based on our option, AWS will be encrypt our data on the EBS volume level. So we don't need to be maintain that any of the like encryption separately. By default, AWS providing. If required, we can create with our own like encryption key. So I'll just tell you on that console level where we can create. So basically, using as I mentioned that AWS using the KMS key, the data will be encrypted. Whatever the data is written on that EBS volume, it should be encrypted. Along with it, if you are doing that any copy or moving the data, that will be encrypted by default if you are doing. So basically, the algorithm they are using that AES 256, that is the default standard algorithm they are using. Along with that, as I mentioned, when we are creating the EC2 instance, that is the option only. Like we can encrypt the data, otherwise we can leave it as a default. So that will not encrypt. And that by default, that root volume will not be encrypted. If required, we can encrypt the volume. Otherwise, we can leave it on the unencrypted way. So that is the basics about that encryption. So I'll just explain you more on that AWS console level once we are going to be look on that EC2 encryption. So before creating that like this with encryption, we will discuss more on that snapshot. That is the one more concept. Along with that, if you can learn that EBS with the encryption and the snapshot, you should be get more idea on that. So basically, snapshot means nothing but that is the one of the backup that will be taken on the time of like a point of time. So that means like it will be captured that changes when we are creating the snapshot. So basically, this will be like considered as the backup for the EBS volume level. So it will be like capture that as I mentioned at any point of time. So basically, when we are creating the snapshot, by default, it will be first to create that entire data disk of the volume level. So along with that, whenever we are creating that subsequent snapshot on the same volume, so that will be considered as the incremental backup. It will be referred to that the source of the snapshot. So we will see it in that some more example ways how it is working, so that you should be get more idea on that. So basically, when we are creating the snapshot, by default in a backend, AWS storing those snapshot into the S3, but we don't have access to see that S3. But using the API on the EC2 console, we can see that all the snapshot details in that under the snapshot section. So along with that, we can take a snapshot for that either particular single volume. Otherwise, we can create an entire instance also. If you are taking the instance, whatever the instance volume, whatever the volumes available on the instance, entire volume will be taken as a snapshot. Along with that, the application consistent also available using the if you are using that SSM manager, it will be like specifically for the Windows operating system. So let's take an example to discuss more on that EC2 snapshot. So basically, if I have I have one of the EC2 instance, those EC2 instance, I have one of the EBS volume. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to be taking one of the snapshot on the first time. So first snapshot time, what will happen? Whatever the data available on the particular EBS volume, those data will be captured into the first snapshot. So basically, it is the entire disk we can consider that is the data disk. So in the subsequent, when you are going to be take a second snapshot, what will happen? It will not capture all the data from the existing EBS. What will happen? It will be like capture only the new data along with that if anything changed on that existing data, those data only will be captured in the particular second snapshot, and the balance data it will be referred to the like a source snapshot. So basically, this is the way it will be work. This is the basic scenario. We will see it on that one more scenarios in the next image. We should be get more idea on that. So apart from that, we need to be know that the snapshot size basically will be considered as the like a size of the data, not a size of the volume. If you have a, like 100 GB of the volume, if you have a data inside the volume 20 GB means the snapshot size will be considered as the 20 GB. So if you can see like this is the one of the like scenarios I have been taken. So we will discuss more on this so that you will get that more idea on the life cycle of the snapshot, how AWS doing. So this will be help you on that when you are calculating the cost and when you are going to be check that the capacity of the snapshot, it will be help us. So basically, if you can assume like I have one of the EC2 with the 15 GB of the volume, that is the EBS volume. Maybe what I'm going to do inside the 15 GB, I have written some of the data. So those data capacity is 10 GB, balance 5 GB remaining free. So in the state one, like what I'm going to do, I'm going to be take a snapshot of the volume. So I can consider as a snapshot here. So I'm just taken a like a volume snapshot. What will happen? It will not take a entire 50 GB of volume. It will only take whatever the data available on the EBS volume that will be taken. So basically, in the snapshot, I can like get it only 10 GB of data inside the snap. You can see the Snapchat will have a 10 GB of data, not a 50 GB. So followed by what will happen in a tomorrow, like I have another scenario, I need to take the snapshot of the existing disk. What I'm going to do, I'm going to be trigger a snapshot. So that time what will happen? Existing, I have a 10 GB of data. So that time like the same 10 GB only available. But inside the 10 GB, 6 GB, the data remaining same. Balance 4 GB of data, somehow I have modified. So like some of the Excel sheet or some of the application level, partial data has been modified, partial data remaining same. But still the total data is 10 GB. Within a 10 GB, there are some changes, 4 GB of data, another 6 GB remaining same. So basically, when I'm just triggering the snapshot on the state 2, the snap B, what will happen? It will be capture the 4 GB of the changed data into the snap B. Balance 6 GB, what will happen? It will be referred to the snap A. So basically, in the like snapshot 2, I can have a only 4 GB of like the latest data. Along with that 6 GB, it will be referred to the existing snapshot again. So this is the way the incremental will be happen. Only the change, what all the changes happen on that, those data only capture. Other data will be referred to the source. Source snapshot. So let's take on one more example. So in another day, what I'm going to do, I'm going to take a one more snapshot. So that time what happened? So existing, I have a 10 GB of data. Along with that, I have been added 2 GB, another 2 GB has been added, total 12 GB of data. But inside the 12 GB, remaining that 6 and the 4 GB remaining same. That means that a snapshot to whatever the data happened, those 10 GB will be remaining same. Balance 2 GB is the new data. So when I'm triggering the snapshot C, what will happen? It will be capture the only 2 GB of data since the 4 GB has been captured on the snapshot B. So it will be like balance 4 GB, it will be referred to the snapshot B. Okay. So again, it will be checked balance 6 GB of the data. It was captured into the snapshot B. So it will be like refer to the snapshot here. This is the way the cycle will be happen. Only the incremental data only taken when we are creating a snapshot. Balanced data basically it will be referred to the source like the source of the snapshot or the parent of the snapshot. So this is the way AWS or if you can see another any of the like the VMware level or any of the snapshot you are going, this is the way only it will be work. So basically, the cost calculation also will be considered based on that the wall like the size of the data, not a volume. For example, if you can see, like as I mentioned, if I have a 200 GB of data disk inside the 200 GB, if I have a like a 50 GB of data, only they will be charged for the 50 GB, not for a 200 GB. The incremental backup also, if you can see, when I'm just taking a snapshot B, the 4 GB of data cost only they will be charged, not a 6 GB. Basically, it is referring to the snapshot A. So basically, this is the basic introduction about that snapshot and the life cycle. So we will see it more on that in a portal. You should be get more idea on that. So basically, this is the AWS encryption. We are going to be see it some with the example. So then we will see it on that in the portal level how we can encrypt. So you can assume I have one of the EC2 instance. On the EC2 instance, one of the EBS volume is there. So that is not encrypted. So in any point of time, you are getting some call or you have some requirement from customer. Yeah, this EBS should be encrypted. So those time, what we can do, we can't straight away like encrypt the volume in a single click. So there is no straightforward. So what we need to be do, so if we need to be encrypt that existing unencrypted volume, so we need to be create a snap using that volume. When we are creating a snapshot, it will be like taken a snapshot of that data disk. So then what we need to be do using the snapshot, we can create a volume with the encryption. So at the time of encrypting that, at the time of creating a volume with encryption, we need to be select the KMS key. So basically those key will be like encrypt all the existing data. So using that volume, we can use that for the upcoming, sorry, for the any kind of EC2 or existing EC2, anything we can do it. So this is the way we can encrypt that volume using the not encrypted data disk. So we will see it on that portal so that we will get more idea on this. So I'm in my that AWS console. If you can see, I have one of the AWS instance running. If you can see those instance having one of the storage, that volume is that 8 GB the by default. So basically, first we will see that how we can encrypt and encrypt that disk. So to encrypt the disk, just click on the launch instance. So once you created the disk, you can't encrypt again without if you are creating the disk without encryption, you can't encrypt again using the same disk. You need to be take a snapshot using the snapshot only. We can encrypt again. So we will see it on the snapshot section. So first I'll just tell you the basics about that how we can encrypt. So basically when you need to be like create a disk with encryption, you have to go to that under the configuration of the storage. So click on the advanced. So there basically if you can expand the volume details, you can see one of the option called that encrypt. So other option we have been already seen. If you are not aware of that, you can see my previous two videos. You should be get more idea on that. So basically when we are doing that encrypt, it will be asked you to like open, select the KMS. This is the by default KMS key providing AWS. If I'm just opening the KMS, so this is the AWS providing the TBS. Apart from that, if you need, you can just create a like KMS key so that you can use it here also. So this is the way we can encrypt. But if you are selecting that not encrypted, this disk will not be encrypted. But if you need to be again encrypt, you can't do in a straightforward. You need to be like take a snapshot. Using the snapshot only, we can encrypt again. So by default, as I mentioned, the root volume will not be encrypt. So we can leave it. If you need it, you can encrypt. So this is the way we can encrypt. We can select the encrypt option on the disk level. But right now, what I'm going to do, I'm not going to be create an instance with the encryption way because I have an existing instance. So this is basically using the 8 GB of the TBS. So what we are going to do, we are going to be create a snapshot now. So to create a snapshot, there are two ways we can create. So on the under the EBS Elastic Black Store, there is one option called the create snapshot. If you can select on the snapshot. So if you can click on the snapshot, so it will be asked you to select the two types. First one is the instance and the another one, sorry, first one volume, another one instance. If you are selecting the volume, we can take a snapshot of the particular volume. If you have any existing one of the volume only, we can choose it. But if you are selecting that instance, whatever when you are selecting the instance, whatever the disk available under the instance, those all the volume will be taken snapshot. In case if you can assume, if you have an instance with the five volume, all the five volume will be taken as a snapshot. So there is the one of the main advantage as I mentioned on that slide itself. So right now what we are going to do, we are going to be like see the volume. Using the volume, we will try to create a one snapshot. So to take a snapshot, just to click on the volume, either snapshot level we can create. I'm going to be create using the volume. So just to click on the volume and create a snapshot. So maybe I can refer like first snap. So as I mentioned, once we create a disk with like encryption or not encrypted, that will be come by default. We can't do it in a straightforward. So if you are taking a snapshot, if the disk has been not encrypted, the snapshot also will not be encrypted. Okay, maybe if we need another disk with the encrypt, we need to be create a disk with the existing snapshot, then we can create with the encryption. So this is the straightforward to create a like a snapshot. What we need to be do, we need to be just to create a snapshot and name, just to click on to create a snapshot. So if you can see, it's a first snapshot is loading. It will be pending link. That what will happen? In backend, it will be validate that volume level. If the total 8 GB of size, or like how much data has been written, those data will be considered as a snapshot. So it will take us some minimal time to complete this process. So and one more thing, as I mentioned, that incremental backup, what I'm going to do, I'm going to be creating another snapshot with the same disk. So you can consider this snapshot we have been created 2 days back. It was completed. After that, I made some changes on that existing volume. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to be create a uh, snapshot with the same volume. So I'm just creating a snapshot for second snap incremental. So here also you can see that they are not encrypted, just to create a snapshot. So if you can go to that snapshot, now you can see the second snapshot also has been created. If you can assume in case whatever the data are written on this particular snap 2, like it will be taken as a considered as a snapshot, balance it will be referred to the snapshot again. So this is the way the snapshot will be happen. If you can see there is no storage there, I'll just explain you more on the storage there level, what is the standard and other thing. So the basic details we can see it on that KMS and how much total size of that volume. So along with that, so this is the basics in introduction about how we can create a snapshot. So we have been created a snapshot. Like if you can click on that any one of the snapshot, if you can click on that action, you can see that to create a volume from snapshot. So using the snapshot, we can create a volume, or else what we can do, we can create an image also. So as I mentioned, this disk has been created without encryption. In case if I need to be encrypt this volume, what we can do, we can select on that particular volume, just to click on the volume, and I'm going to be select a create a volume. I'm going to be create a volume using this snapshot. So just to click on that volume. So basically the volume type, I can select it whatever we want. The size by default, maybe we can change it, the availability zone and the throughput others remaining same. Here I mentioned if you have any volume without encryption, we can create a snapshot. Using the snapshot, we can encrypt the volume. Then just click on the encryption. So by default, KMS key will be, I'm going to be select. Here you can see that KMS ID and KMS ARR. So apart from that, I'm just click on the create a volume. In a few seconds, you can see I can get that one more volume. So if you can see on that encryption status, this is the one I have been created at the time of the instance launch. This is the one I have been created using the snapshot which is taken on the existing. You can see this was encrypted. So if in case if you record any kind of EBS should be encrypt existing if it is that not encrypted, we need to be encrypted means we can do it this is the way. So basically, this is the way we can create a volume and we can create a snapshot and we can create a using the snapshot, we can create a volume also. So that's all about the today's session. In the upcoming session, we will see about that how we can copy the snapshot to the another region and another account. Apart from that, how we can create an image using the snapshot in the upcoming session. So in the next session, we will see it about that the storage tier level little bit. What are the storage tier? How it will be help us to like work with the snapshot level, how we can reduce the cost on the storage level. We will see it on that. So basically, that's all about the today's session. if you have any doubt, any question on this related topics, just feel free to leave a comment. I'll just take you up on that upcoming session. So once again, thanks for watching my channel. If you like my videos, just do that likes and subscribe my channel so that it will be motivate me to do more videos like that. So once again, thanks. We'll see you in the upcoming session.